And on the end over here is going to be Charles McGee. And what I'm going to try to next to Colonel McGee is another famous entity by the name of Span Watson. Let's give Mr. Watson a hand. Hold your hand up, Span. There you go. And next to Span is another gentleman by the name of Roscoe Brown. Hold your hand up, Roscoe. And he's next to Mr. Roscoe Brown is William Bill Holloman. Raise your hand up, Bill. Last but not least is a young man who is representing one of the most significant people in this experiment, or experience, I'm sorry. And that is the gentleman by the name of Charles Anderson. Charles Anderson, of course, is the son of the famed Chief Charles Anderson, who probably touched the lives of just about every Tuskegee Airman that came through the program. So what I'm going to do is give each speaker 2 minutes to just make some comments about their experiences and so forth. Maybe that will excite some of you all to ask us some questions. We'll start with Colonel McGee.
Okay, well, folks, the unsung story of the Tuskegee Airmen experience has to be recognition of the mechanics and technicians that made it possible for what we pilots accomplished. And you're very welcome. Will the mechanics in the audience stand up? I see a few. Yeah, give them a hand, folks. You see, in the fine print of that experiment said, and all of the necessary support. And that includes the medics and the nurses and the communicators and the administrators, supply and all. I think we pilots, it took some of us a long time to realize that we needed to be saluting the efforts of that support. Needless to say, the work of the 477th Bomb Group fighting segregation here at home was tougher than the job of us going to Europe. You see, in Europe, and that's one of the things as we try to rid America of its racism. In Europe, you were a person, and you weren't seen as a black person. In America, we're first seen as a black person, and then they might get around to asking, what are you capable of doing? Fortunately, that has changed. My 2 minutes are up.
Okay, we all came through here at this field. Some of us came to the civilian pilot training first. We all came through here, and our great support came from people who worked at this field and sent us on our way. One of the things that I always thought that we didn't give enough recognition to the people who worked and built this field from scratch and taught us to fly from scratch and sent us on our way. And we all got the publicity, but they stayed here and worked. And we are unendingly thankful for the people who came here, started here, led by Chief Anderson and the whole crew, and made us and gave us the opportunity. This was our point of opportunity in this world, right here. Thank you very much.
Roscoe Brown.
Those of us who know Span know that it takes him 2 minutes to say his name. I want to say congratulations to Span for being so brief. How about that? When you're a part of history as we are, and you think back to what made us a part of history, you think about those particular people and places that were so significant. Tuskegee Institute, Moton Field, was one of those places. It was the place Tuskegee at that time in the 30s and 40s was an island of hope where we could defeat segregation by our achievement. It was an island of opportunity where we could learn things you couldn't learn anything anywhere else in this country. That's why we had Moton Field. It was an island of achievement where outstanding African American men and women in all fields could show their stuff. I am so proud and pleased to be a part of that legacy of Moton Field. Thank you very much.
Bill Holloman.
You know, I'm shocked up here. Both Span and Roscoe were brief. But, you know, I got upstage for 10 seconds there by the jet. But I wanted to correct my moderator because I was born in the capital of aviation, finest aviation city in the world, St. Louis, Missouri, the home of Charles Lane and Charles Lindbergh. But one of the things that Charles McGee brought out we need to thank is our brown personnel. You know, they taught idiots to fly by the time I came along in 1943, because I graduated from high school, and when I got to combat, my crew chief had a master's degree. So we had some smart mechanics, and there were a number of them that came along in the first class. They all had college degrees when they went up to Chanute. Thank you.